As you can see, I'm in the city. You see the massive buildings behind me. This is like the business district, and I noticed that it's a lot easier to hook a lot of the business girls that come out of these buildings. You can kind of see them here when they finish work. So there's an entrance down there, then they finish work, and they if you approach them in front of all of their work colleagues, they're going to blow out. They're less likely to hook because they don't want to be seen speaking to a foreigner. But as you can see, yeah, the building's right there. It's less than 50 meters away. I'm just going for a walk down here. There's these streets that come out of there, and from the entrance you can make approaches. And I noticed that 5-6 p.m. yesterday, before I had my date come over, I was able to hook every single set. I met a girl that's a business consultant. One girl said that she was in marketing, and they all come from these buildings here. That's not what I want to talk about. I'm still in Asia for the next, under 2 weeks now. But I want to talk about winging and how you need to play your role to the best of your ability. Almost like in business sense, a lot of people, they just think, okay, well, I want to be CEO, or I want to rise up the ranks, and they might not have the skills to do so. The thing is, when you're in the corporate setting, the people that rise to the top have the ability to play all of the roles, all of the skills, and they teach the person beneath them so that the person beneath them can replace their position so that they can move their way up. Now, this is also relevant to rugby union, playing a team sport like soccer, but I like to talk about rugby because I actually played that sport. There are positions that everybody likes to be able to play. In rugby, there's the fly half position. In America, they call that the quarterback. That's number 10. I played number 10 when I was playing rugby. But the thing is, number 10 should be able to play 12, 13, 15. They should be able to play all the other positions, and then they're able to play number 10. That's usually how it works. Now, how's that relevant to winging? Well, when I was winging a guy recently, he I think those kids, they thought it was funny I was making a video. He was opening all the sets, so his position was opening. Now, was he good at opening? Well, if you think just having the ability to open in an uncalibrated way, sure, but you should be able to open in a calibrated way and introduce your wing. Now, when you're thinking about winging, there are different positions. Like, you do have different skills, and some people they think that there's just two guys. They get into a set, you pick your girl, he picks his girl. It's not necessarily how it works. When you've been doing it a long time, you'll notice that one guy needs to be pushing it forward, as in a little bit more logical, suggesting that you move. The guy that's pushing to bounce to different locations. And then there should be more of the fun guy that hooks the set and lets them know that everything's going to be cool. That's more the vibe. Then there's also the guy, the opener. Then there's the guy that hovers around the back and stabilizes. So there are different positions, especially in night game. In day game, it's obviously a little bit different. But in night game, there are positions, and I can dig deep, and this is what I teach my students, but I've never seen anybody online talking about night game and winging and going into depth on how you should be winging. That's the funny thing. It just makes me question how much knowledge these guys actually have about cold approach, because no one's actually covered it. But the point of this one is, know your position and play your position the best you can. So for instance, recently with Bradicus, he was approaching. He obviously didn't know how to do it calibrated. And he wasn't very good at introducing me to the set. So I had to get in there and stabilize. Often he would approach. He was like just hammering it out. It's like a hammer. It's like if you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail, and that's what he was. And so what I did was I'd come in there and try and soften the blow and be a little bit more light-hearted. I wasn't showing any intent with the girls because I wanted to take a lot of pressure off the girls because I wanted them to hook. I didn't want them all to just run away after a massive uncalibrated approach. So I was stabilizing, I was playing my position. And this is why when I get a student that's played a team sport, I'm like, good. Okay, good. You understand that you need to play your role, and there are different roles, especially with night game. And so when you're doing game and you're winging, know your position. Know that you've got a job to do, and try to do it to your best ability as a team. Don't just go thinking about yourself the entire time. Don't be selfish. Don't be chucking tantrums when little things go wrong. And this is the difference between a man who's played a team sport and pretty much gone to war with other men, and a child that hasn't actually become a man yet. And this is why a lot of the times with guys that haven't really developed that inner core, that mental strength, I have to tell them, look, you need to hit the gym first, obviously, but secondly, you need to do a team sport. That's what's missing. A lot of the red pill advice out there talks about hitting the gym, sure, but if you haven't played a team sport, you haven't, almost metaphorically, gone to war with a group of men around you trying to achieve a goal together in unison, then you're going to struggle winging. You're going to take things a little bit more personal. You're not going to have that inner strength, that inner game, as they call it. And I noticed that a lot winging that guy recently, that there's no inner game. He clearly had never played a team sport in his life. And he didn't know his role very well. He just thought, okay, I'm opening, I'm going in. It's like, I need to just try and keep up with this guy, and I need to alter my game to fit in with his. And that's something that I think a lot of you guys can learn. You can learn, like if the one guy's opening one night, maybe the next night you should switch and you should be the one that's opening. So if your wing tonight is going to be opening and you're stabilizing, depending on the vibe too, if he's opening or is he going to be irreverent and try to stabilize the set, and he's going to be, I wouldn't necessarily matter. Like, you can be opening and stabilizing or pushing forward. It doesn't really matter. But if you're opening and pushing forward, you're more likely to push away the girls, and your wing's able to get in there. And that's kind of what was happening with me and Bradicus recently. Was he was opening and pushing forward, and I just had to be irreverent and stabilize. And because of that, and because he didn't really understand game that well, all of the girls hooked on me, and he was in fact, with his game, making me look good. And I was trying my best to try to make him look good, but he kept ruining it for himself because he wasn't able to adjust. Now, adjusting mid-session is all a part of this. It's like playing a game of rugby, and something changes in the game. They get the ascendancy. They start taking over, and you need to adjust. You might not get the ball for like 20 minutes or something, and the other team's like dominating. You need to adjust to that. And I think that it's important that with game you adjust as well, especially night game. You should have the ability to adjust, or at least have the social awareness to know that something has changed. And so hopefully that makes sense to you guys. Know your role when you're winging and play your position as best you can. Be aware of what's going on around you and adjust to the situation. So hopefully that made sense. And I get a few more hours until 5-6 p.m. I'm going to go hang in that area and do some more DG. And I think it's a great little spot. I got 2 more weeks here in Asia. And yeah, yesterday I met a girl who's a business consultant, and I got a date with her tomorrow, and she's hot. Cold approach is the best way to find those ones. It doesn't mean you're not going to find them online, but the ones that aren't, the ones that are busy at lunchtime and they finish work, and they're high quality and they don't sleep with a lot of guys, you're only really going to have access to them through DG. But yeah, 5, 6, 7 p.m. I'm going to go do some DG. I'll have my date. We'll see how that goes tonight. I got my date coming around, and then later on tonight, maybe 11 p.m. I'll go out and do some night games. It's Thursday now, so it's just game 24 hours while I'm here, because that's what I like doing, because it's fun. And I'll be back in Sydney very soon. And if you are considering doing some cold approach coaching, you're not happy with your results, check out my website, sign up to an immersion. I think I got one slot left in October. I'll see you guys in the next video.